But if you want to get started with a private club model, offer something that's limited in supply, almost a service or an experience, and that's in high demand amongst affluent customers, and offer to a market of achievement oriented strivers who are always attracted to the greener grass. Even though they have access to something else, they want something different just so they can feel elite.
Let's go. Oh, how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling blessed and highly favored, bruh.
Come back from the mic.
Hello,
Yes,
hello,
okay,
hello.
That, that's right. Hello and welcome to the Hustle Over Everything podcast. This is a podcast where we receive stories, tips, and strategies from entrepreneurs who have done it. Today on the show, we have a one-on-one episode where we dive deep into a specific topic. Yo, let's go with you. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing great. You know what, bro? Today I played one of my best rounds of golf. I mean, today I was on. When I say I was on, I was on. I knocked down. I know you've never played golf before, but for the golf fans out there, there's a par 4, very, very good play. Knocked down like a 30-foot birdie. It was like one of the best birdie shots I've ever made, bro. So I'm just reminiscing back to today. I was like, damn, I killed it today. And I woke up today feeling like, you know what? Today I'm going to be nice. And, look, when you speak things into existence, things just, fall into place. So that's what happened.
So what would that be equivalent to in basketball? Would you have done like a triple-double?
Well, golf is kind of different. But let's say if you play a long birdie putt like that, that is like Dame Lillard or Steph Curry hitting a 3 close to the logo.
Okay.
Yeah. It was one of those. I was like, and the thing is, the putt was not like a straight putt. It was a hill, then it tilts over at the end. So I had to read the putt, hit it over the hill, came down, glided to the left, came back down to the middle, straight in the cup. I was like, geez. And I was having my boys saw it, because if no one saw that putt, no one would believe me. So I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying?
One of those
it's
ones.
Picks where it didn't happen. That's the equivalent of a golf course. If oh man, I didn't see it. Well, it didn't happen then. So
Facts.
My boys saw it.
Bless, man. Bless.
What about you, man?
Man, my weekend was very chill. Just been in work mode this weekend, focusing on client work. Today, I helped my family move, and yeah, that was an experience for sure. But it was good to just reconnect with family sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta take a step back, And my family, as Jamaican families do, a lot of times they only connect around holidays and funerals. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to just connect with family for once and just chop it up. I was telling my grandfather about the about the Blue Jasmine situation.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Blue Jasmine? And how she, what happened there?
Blue Jasmine.
All right, so basically Blue Jasmine is this girl who broke up with her man of 4 or 5 years, and was living in a condo he bought her after they broke up, and was still living in there, and he was paying for it the whole time.
Oh, yo, I saw this on Adam 22 No Jumper.
Exactly.
And they're talking about it, right?
Yeah. So I broke that down to my grandfather, and the way he made his face up was the most disgusting, it was hilarious to see. And that made my day. Just to see how disgust can transcend generation was
that's
beautiful to
OG,
see.
That's OG disgust right there.
Exactly. He's like, are you a cow? I'm not a cow. You can't milk me. I was dying, So it was just good to see that. Go ahead.
Do you agree with that? Do you agree if you're a very wealthy guy and you put this girl in an apartment and you're paying for it, but you no longer deal with her, should you be paying for it as a guy, even if you have the means?
Hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no. You know what I'm saying? If the relationship ends, so does that. That's a part of the relationship. So that ends. You maybe give her a week to pack up her things. you know. But you don't need a month to pack up your things. You need like maybe a week of stretching it, actually, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, I'll give her a month, right? Because like finding a crib on your own after like living nice like that, it takes time, right? So you give them like 2 months. You're like, hey, 2 months. Hey, you got 60 days. Find your own crib. Then I gotta like
60 days. Listen, bro, you
look,
are way too nice.
You've been giving this girl like this lifestyle. Like, and we're kind of coming from like a lifestyle perspective. Like, hey, look, we're broken up. We're no longer dealing with each other. I'm giving you at least 60 days to pack up, find a crib, move. That is sufficient time.
Bro, that's more than sufficient. About 60 days.
That's just being generous.
This is a whole new relationship, bro.
That's generous.
You can have a whole new relationship in 60 days. That's very generous. Yo, 60 days is crazy.
Because you give them like a week, right? They're like, where are they gonna move to next?
They're moms. They're girlfriends, their families. You know what I'm saying? You can move in with whoever. Listen, you don't gotta go home, but you gotta get the hell out of here, fam.
Who said that again?
I don't know who said that, but all I know is that it's definitely transcending into pop culture. So
you gotta go home. Yo,
you gotta go home, but you gotta get the hell out of here. You know, so that's exactly what I'm gonna be telling her. Bro, 2 months is a long time. You think a girl would give a guy 2 months?
Okay, depends how the relationship ended. If it was like a mutual breakup and you're like, hey, look, I gave you some time. You know, you're living here. I know this just happened. You know, packing things, especially if it's a nice spot and like they have stuff in there. You know, give them like some time to find a crib, you know, depending if they're in New York, Toronto, you know, the markets are heavy, right? So you got to give them some time to get
their bearings,
whatever it is you got to say, right? Their bearings. So I'd give them like maybe a month and a half to get out of the place and, you know, sell it or rent it.
I'd give stretch a month. You know what I'm saying? With everything that you're saying, you know, finding a new place. But bro, like, this girl's making money. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You know what? If we're breaking up, you know what? Boom. Here goes 2 months into your next spot. Actually, nah, I don't even do that either. I'm tripping.
That's what you call like severance. I would never do
that either.
That's breakup severance right there.
Breakup severance.
Breakup severance.
God. But yo, what that is really though is alimony. That's what she was expecting. She thought she was a wife and was getting alimony. That's what but the thing is though is that if she had the bills properly set up, she could have been in a common law relationship and, you know, gotten alimony from a common law marriage. But she didn't really play that way because I think it's like 2 years in America as a relationship, and here it's about 3 to 4 years, I believe, to be able to become a common law marriage. So if she had played the cards that way, then she could have really actually gotten that.
She played the game, man.
Yeah, man.
Don't hate the player, hit the game.
Yeah. Speaking of the game, man, let's talk about the podcast of the day. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about. Actually, before we jump in there, I also want to address something. So on TikTok, you know, we share our stories on TikTok. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, by the way, at 24/7 Hustler on TikTok. And someone commented under our photo or our video, pardon me, saying that people of color does not include East Asian people. But I just wanted to clarify that right real quick and say, yes, they actually do count that. You know, people of color do include people of color, Asian people, brown people, any person who fits a person of color.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, you know, lock that in. And yo, let's get into the podcast, bro. So
let's get into it.
Today we have a podcast produced by Owen. You know what I'm saying? So Owen, let's talk about subscriptions, man. What do you have for us today?
Hey guys, you know, the show is produced by me today. And, you know, one thing that we wanted to cover is subscriptions as a business model. I know what we do, like we subscribe to a lot of different things, Spotify, Apple Music, Netflix, your insurance that you pay for your apartment or condo, wherever you stay. The subscription business model is here. All these different things. A lot of different businesses have automatic payments coming out of our bank accounts each and every single month. It gives us peace of mind. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to go, oh yeah, I got to go pay my Spotify bill today. And like when you're listening to music, oh, your month is up, you got to pay. No, they're taking that money recurrently out of your credit card. If you have it attached to your credit card or your debit Visa. But what it does, it gives you peace of mind where you don't really have to think about it. You just have your music playing all the time, and that money's taken out of your bank account. So as entrepreneurs, we have many different business models we can choose for our business. And the subscription model is very interesting. It goes deeper than just thinking of a subscription model. There's different ways you can have a different model for a subscription. I'm going to cover that. But today we're going to talk about the overall business model. Alex doesn't really agree with the subscription business model, so we're going to hear his side of the story and why he doesn't like it as much. And we'll give you a breakdown of what each subscription model is about and how you can use it in your business if you see fit. And then so we're going to cover the whole subscription side of things. It's something that we haven't really covered. We've spoken a lot about Facebook ads, e-commerce, marketing, finance, sales, but this has been something that's been right in front of our eyes, but we haven't really gone deeper into it. And we saw this as a great opportunity to really share some knowledge with you and see if this business model will fit. So to kick things off, what is a subscription model? So the subscription business model is a business model which a customer must pay a recurring price at regular intervals to access a product or service. As again, this is everything that we've spoken about for all these different services you use. So again, the Netflixes, the Spotifys, the insurance companies, whatever it is. What are the advantages? What's so advantageous about a subscription model? Number one, it's simplicity, right? It's very, very simple. You as a business, you have a product or service that you're providing. You don't have to consistently search for new customers. You already get the same customer each and every single month. So you can actually predict cash flow. It's easier to keep customers. Think about you right now using Spotify or Netflix. The lifetime value of your customer, us as customers, is probably like years because we're not really churning to go to another service, especially when we're so accustomed to Netflix. We have our lists. We have things we want to watch. There's Netflix specials that only come on Netflix. So this is one great feature about being a subscription-based business. And another thing, it's consistent. You have consistent cash flow coming in every single month, which you can also understand where it's coming from, which tiers of subscription you're going to be using, and etc. So we're going to go deep into these different advantages of using a subscription model. And Alex will also share some disadvantages of why he doesn't really think a subscription model is the best way to go. So, before we get to the positive sides of a subscription model, Alex, why do you think a subscription model isn't the best way to go for new entrepreneurs or seasoned entrepreneurs who are looking to switch things up?
All right, so I actually have a subscription business. What Media is a subscription business. It's based off retainers. People pay the business on a consistent basis based off the value they're getting. And let me tell you, it is a challenge. As soon as you are not providing value, they will leave you. And that's consistent throughout. The only time they may stay without you providing consistent value is when there is a library of content that you already provided them that they can choose from. So there's many different versions of subscription businesses. And the reason why I have some gripes about it is from being in it, one, there's high cancellation rate. There's uncertain revenue in the startup phase. That's a big one. You don't have on the books that there's this many users consistently using it because there's a consistent churn that you have to monitor. Having a consistent MRR is a tough thing to continue to maintain. MRR stands for monthly recurring revenue. And that's just the amount of people that are consistently retaining month over month. So that's the challenge. If you have another type of business, whether it be something like let's say hair braider. I don't know why I keep going hair braiders, but hair braiders, you provide one service once every so often, and then they come back to get more from that. But when you have a subscription-based business, you have to keep people coming back over and over and over again, because once that bill hits, that cancellation rate is just so high in comparison to other businesses. And you have to have a consistent audience development stage. So you're consistently just fighting for new audience while you're fighting to maintain the same audience, right? It's not as it's not as much of I grow once I get that customer in. There's less upsells with a subscription business versus other businesses. So that's why I really dislike a subscription business, to keep it short and simple.
So the one thing you mentioned is the churn side of things. You don't like that.
Yeah.
Go deeper into that. Like, why do people churn in certain subscription business models?
Because because they're paying for it without them actually seeing it, right? Unless it's something like entertainment, like Netflix, they consistently are going to be charged, and then they're going to have a bit of a sticker shock when they go to, do the financial reporting or just checking in their bank account. They're like, oh yeah, I'm paying for that. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's a really big utility. So for instance, me personally, I quit Photoshop because I didn't want to pay for that monthly, and got Affinity, where it's a one-time payment, right? Netflix, even on Netflix, sometimes I think about canceling. Spotify, I have, because I have a family plan, so more people can use it. Same with Netflix too, actually. That's why I haven't canceled it, because I have a family plan. Yeah. Otherwise, I would have gone elsewhere. So there's a lot of value. Think about that. For me personally, this is my example. Netflix is Netflix, and I still think about canceling that.
Yeah. Even same thing with me, Amazon Prime, bro. Like, I order maybe like 1 or 2 things a month, which I value that, 1 or 2 day shipping. And there's one thing you brought up a while back. You were telling me, like, man, Prime is not what you really think it is. Like, you're dropping like $9 or $10 because there's something you told me at the time. I can't really remember, but the more I have this Prime subscription, I'm getting access to Prime Video, which I barely ever use because I'm already on Netflix. I'm already watching things on YouTube. The content on Amazon Prime Video is just not the same as the Netflix. I don't know what it is, but the style or the usability of Amazon Prime Video, especially on my TV, it comes already with the app, is not the same as Netflix. Then Prime, I'm only maybe ordering like 2 things a month. Maybe I order like an iron or an ironing board, or like maybe a oil dispenser. Like, I'll order these things, but any other times than that, I'm just wasting money. And it's only when I'm using those things, when I'm buying those certain things, that I'm getting it, which makes me wonder, like, do I really need that fast shipping if I'm going to be ordering things that I don't really need right now? But when I do need those things right now, they're here right now. So I definitely get the advantage. So it's like this toss up between, man, I could probably need something in, predicting for a future event, which is not really solidified yet, which I'll be needing that fast service, but it's so hard to predict whenever you're going to need fast service. So that's why I'm still holding on to it. But it's one of those things I'm like, man, I could definitely use this money somewhere else than dropping it on Amazon Prime. So that's where like the churn side of me wants to churn, but I still see the advantages of it.
Exactly. So that's at scale for everything. So if I'm about to start like a dog subscription service, okay, you might get 1 or 2, but after that they might churn, right? So it's a whole new business model you have to figure out when it comes to how much people will churn with that, and then you have to try and get new customers on top of that, and then so you're battling on 2 fronts really. It's the marketplace of all right, I'm trying to sell to new customers, and then try to actually maintain the customers you do have. So you're at a consistent battle to get people from both ends, so that's where, and I'm dealing with that in my business, that's why I'm saying, hey, if you don't have a strong heart, like, it's going to be a challenge for real. So, that's why I am very weird about suggesting subscription-based businesses. Investors rarely go into subscription-based businesses because they're so prone to failure, right? Especially with the cogs of operating that. Like, if you have a subscription box or something like that, so there can be a lot of costs that go into it. That's not really expected. A lot of things can come up. So that's why a lot of people, a lot of subscription businesses fail a lot, because people, once they're ready to cut, they will cut and not come back. So, yeah, that's why.
Well, there are definitely disadvantages of having a subscription-based business, but one of the advantages it does provide for a business is definitely the simplicity of it, right? I mean, if you have one product which, people can never ever get enough of every single month, and they want to get access to it because it's always changing every single day, they're going to need a subscription for it. And, it leads me to my next model, of which is it's very, very popular among, the subscription world, is the membership website model. So you guys can come across this for, different news organizations such as Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the Financial Times. They have hundreds of thousands of paying online subscribers. And, if you're looking to get into this subscriber model, it's great for you if you have a specific expertise or passion and people are willing to pay for it. So this type of model involves you paying for people paying for your knowledge, and your knowledge is behind a paywall. So this is one of the great things about a subscription model, which I'm like, you brought up a disadvantage, bro. So I'm giving you an advantage of where this is applicable. And it's for people who have a newsletter that people want to subscribe to. For example, Anthony Pompliano, who has the Pomp Letter. He talks about Bitcoin. He's one of the big Bitcoin guys out in the marketplace right now. He always has knowledge that nobody knows about. He's so bullish. Knowledge, he has that guy. He's that guy who's in the market who talks about cryptocurrency like no other, right? So he's so bullish on this market space. So people subscribe to his newsletter to get the insider knowledge where they could, take things further. Hey, should I buy more Bitcoin? Should I hold off? Where's crypto going? So if you are a guy like, let's say Anthony Pompliano, or you have a newsletter where you can teach people how to, let's say, detail cars out, or you have a newsletter, if you have a podcast, let's say, where people pay a premium to like get your knowledge, they can be subscribers. And this is where you get things into Patreon, right? So do you see Patreon as like for example, if Patreon is as subscribers who are subscribing to content like that, do you see as an advantage of, going that route, or do you go against not having a subscription for things like that? Where do you lie on that side of things, bro?
For that, I think Patreon's actually amazing for that. And I think Patreon's business model is interesting because they don't just, sell. Sorry, let's clarify. Are you talking about Patreon's business model, selling subscriptions, or talking about using a Patreon for someone like us, someone like the Friends, or someone like Joe Budden?
Something like that, right? If you have a business where, people are paying, a premium to access unique content. So this could be articles, videos, webinars, a forum discussion. And, there's many other different platforms like Patreon, but they can go directly to us. They don't have to go through Patreon. They can subscribe through Anchor, let's say, or other platform. And they can pay us every single month to get like a bonus episode where we had, let's say we featured Elon Musk that day, and, they're paying like $100 to listen to that episode, like as it's still airing. Let's say it's parts over like a 2-3 month, and you're paying monthly for that. What do you think about that?
Got you. So I want to be specific here. I think subscription models are great for tech products, but I think it's a lot tougher for physical products, specifically because the logistics of it is so much more complicated.
Crazy, bro. The margins are insane.
Exactly. So for tech products, entertainment, I think it's a lot easier. But even for news, honestly, bro, there's a reason why local news is dying, because they don't want to pay the subscription price. Who wants to pay for the Scarborough Journal? You know what I'm saying? Not me. And I think that's like a big challenge as well. So once you have that defined audience that values you, of course, you can have a subscription model, because then you have that scale where you have 10,000 dedicated fans and 1,000 will pay $5 a month for your subscription. That's, a beautiful business model. But the challenge is when you don't have that scale, or you have a specific product. That's when it gets really challenging. Like you're sending out, a dog product every month across America, across international lines, that gets very complicated very fast.
Yeah.
And then making sure the logistics of people getting that product into your boxes first, and from the box to that person, it can be a logistical nightmare. A lot of people don't prepare for that. So that's what I think the real challenge. Sometimes if you're just doing like, dongles, something small, it might be a lot easier. But for physical products that really drive value for people, it might be tougher to have that logistics set up properly. So there's the plus and minuses of it.
Yeah, and definitely. I mean, and we're gonna get into what you just said right there, which is in subscription world, that's called the consumables model. So this is used by organizations such as Dollar Shave Club. Our favorite guy, Tristan Walker out in Walker and Company, using Bevel, subscribing to things like razors or creams or butters or, beard kits, right? This model, we're going to get deeper into it, but that's what you're talking about. And, the disadvantages of using this model is when you're subscribing to this, because you have to look at your pricing and then you have to look at the subscription of it. Because if you're selling this retail razor, let's say at it's not a razor. You can buy the razor once, but to replenish every single thing every single month, you're banking on the customer using that product every single day, where by the 5th day, let's say 5 days before the month is over, their supply is already done, where they're going to need a fresh supply coming in. And let's say if they're not done, for example, like I was subscribing to, Bevel for some time. I never shaved that much, but I really liked shaving using the product. So I subscribed for 2 months and I was like, oh man, like I have cream, I have everything. Like I don't need to go over this and do it. So if you're looking like a beard guy, a beard business, and you want a subscription model, you have to find guys who have beards that shave every single day, where they're going to be finished supply. They're going to need it over and over. And this is why like the subscription model gets tricky. Like it's great for those people who need to replenish things every day. But if they're not using it every single time, I mean, the churn rate can really, really go up. Because, for example, like me, I mean, I have a beard, but sometimes I like styling it, sometimes I like growing it. So you're banking on that person shaving every single month. And then when they're not using it, they might pause. So that means like your revenue has gone down that month. They might pick it up a month later. So there's a lot of starts and pauses that you can't predict, but a lot of businesses have a predictable monthly recurring revenue, which they can predict. Okay, if we know our churn rate is this on average, we can predict our revenue is going to be this every single month, and you can forecast for the whole year. So that's one thing that it's great about that consumables model. But going back to the membership website model. Things to consider if you really want to go down this path. A couple of things to factor in. You really got to have a tightly defined niche market, people who are passionate about a specific thing. The crypto idea where Anthony Pompliano is doing, people are passionate about crypto. So if you can provide them information that's super unique, then go down that route. You need to have an access to steady flow of unique knowledge or expertise, insider information that's constantly changing and that subscribers need to know. This is one thing as well. I subscribe to other sports newsletters. So even crazy, the Pompliano brothers are killing it. His brother has a newsletter where he gives the advantages of, the inside knowledge on business and sports all in one. So I'm like, man, this sounds unique. This is crazy. Let me see what he's talking about. Right. And another thing you can do with this model is you can add a product or service on top of it. So if you have the website model, you can probably sell something on top of it if they're fans of it. The most profitable membership websites are usually those of B2B companies that solve a real problem, and they're offering must-have information on the top. And most successful operations produce a piece of content in multiple formats, so you can accommodate to subscribers preferences for consuming information. So that's one way of accessing, the website model. And if you have something like this, definitely go deeper into it. What do you think about that model overall, bro?
Of a subscription model?
Of a membership website.
The membership, I love memberships too.
Mm-hmm.
They do have the same problem, but what I like more about memberships is that you can charge higher.
Mm-hmm.
When you're giving real value, you can charge a lot more for membership websites because what someone gets on the opposite end of that value can be worth so much more money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like shout out to Jabril, he has a dope membership website. Also David Chance, like some people is charging $72 a month for their membership website, which is a lot of money at scale, right? So I think membership websites have a lot of potential, especially when they niche down specific avenues where people need a lot of help.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think the main problem though is this churn, and sometimes churn is natural. You know, like
there's lifetime value, man. Everyone has a LTV that, hey, this person's longer, this person's shorter. It's just the nature of the game.
Exactly. Like for instance, if my business is getting you set up as an entrepreneur, then you're eventually going to churn out because you're going to get set up, right? So as long as you can calculate that, I think you're going to be set. But I think the challenge with that is just audience development. It's finding the great marketing to match that audience you're trying to get into your funnel. That's really it.
Absolutely, man. And, you know, we're hopping to the next thing where we touched upon early on where, you know, a lot of these websites that we subscribe to, a lot of services or apps, and this is the all-you-can-eat library model, you know? So what is the all-you-can-eat library model? You know, this model offers unlimited access to a warehouse of value, aka Spotify. So like any library, you'll never consume all the information possible, but, you know, it's always there for you. And these companies know that, hey, you're not going to listen to every single track on Spotify. You're not going to watch every single piece of content that's available on Netflix. But, you know, the breadth of content that is offered, you know, promises to always have something you like. So you as a consumer, you're paying to have access to a wide selection of content, and you're pretty much accessing, you're going to access, but you're essentially renting access to it. So I'm renting to listen to Jay-Z's tracks. I'm renting to watch old movies where this is giving me peace of mind. I don't have to go to LimeWire, download, you know, back in the LimeWire days, bro. You know, you download a song and it's like Soulja Boy.
Thanks. Be pissed. They be there like, man, God, damn, another one.
This guy got us, bro. It's like, got it. You know, bro. Like, I mean, I remember used to like I was trying to download like some things on my iPod Shuffle. Shout out to iPod Shuffles, man. Those are great. And every single track I'm trying to download is just like you. Soulja Boy tone, you know, that's how it was, bro. So, you know, going back to, you know, the all-you-can-eat library model works well for, as I said, the Netflixes and, you know, people who have disrupted certain industries. You know, before we used to buy CDs into, you know, to listen to them, or buy Walkmans, or buy, you know, MP3s, and use all these different services. But, you know, companies like Netflix, you know, they've disrupted the old movie rental business, you know, knocking companies like Blockbuster off. So this is an extremely valuable model, and, you know, it's really cool, but it's super hard to get started. Essentially, you need evergreen content. So Netflix owns the rights to more than 100,000 movies and TV shows, and, you know, they have a legion of existing fans who already consume free content. So think of ways on how you can adopt a, you know, all-you-can-eat library model. And, you know, one example I have here is one guy, his name is Joshua Jacob, and, you know, he realized that, you know, not everybody can afford a $100,000 education to go to art school. So what he did is he built a library of how-to classes led by real artists. So each person came in, uploaded their own content, and they taught people, and everybody, you know, you could stream via live video from the websites, and people paid $19 a month to access all these courses offered by artists all over the world. And he'll have a revenue sharing side of it where, you know, out of the $19 a month, these teachers would get access to it. You know, the same way like Apple pays a fraction of every single stream to the artist, they keep something out of it. So they're renting their music, and this is the way he did it. So, you know, it's hard to get started with this unless you have a super, super defined niche that you're going into, whether it's you're teaching people, whether it's you're providing like you're starting your own streaming website. I know Dame Dash started his own Dame Dash Studios. He makes his own content, and people can pay access to it. You know, Alex, there's one thing. Have you paid for it? Pardon?
Have you looked at that?
Dame Dash Studios?
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at it. I mean, there's a lot of content, but I don't think it's in the thousands. I think it's like less than 100. You know, he has like movies in there that you can pay for, but
yeah,
it's not really worth the subscription because there's no new original stuff like the way Netflix does. You know, I wish, You know, as someone like Dame Dash, you know, a black entrepreneur who's like a trailblazer in culture, I want that business to be successful. It's just there's no value in it yet to really pay for, because I can crush the whole content in a month if I want, because it's all his movies. There's no really need to subscribe to it. But what do you think about the all you can eat library model, bro? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
I love it. I'm in it. For brands like a Netflix, once you win is what it is. I think, you know, like once you win, you win. Like once Netflix got the market share, they took it over. Once Disney got all the rentals back from Netflix, they started taking a huge market share over. So I think that's really what the challenge is. Once you can get that content, then once you can actually have a model that's competitive to the biggest person out there, then you can have the audience. But other things like Paramount has a subscription service, and do I think they're going to compete with Netflix? Tough. It's going to be tough.
Disney Plus. Imagine like Disney just comes in. Hey, like imagine like as a business, you've like a Netflix, you've come up, you've grinded it out, and then Disney, this legacy company, is like, wow, hey, like, you know, Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, is like, hey guys, I think, you know, we should start our own subscription service, and they have their own rights to every single movie, TV show. So if some of Disney's stuff are on Netflix, Disney can just be like, hey, take that down. We no longer service your thing. And that, so like that's competitive advantage Disney has.
No, they got contracts, so they couldn't do it that simple. But that's what happened with a lot of the movies, right? Black Panther was on Netflix, now it's off. You know, a lot of the Disney series, all the Marvel joints was on Netflix, and now they're taking them off slowly but surely. You know, but yeah, it's a contract thing of once the contract is up, then they can take it down. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I get what you're saying though.
Exactly. So, you know, like successful all you can eat library models, you know, it's keep refreshing your library with new content to keep people loyal so you avoid churn. But, you know, by sprinkling new content, they always have access to evergreen content as the foundation of the membership. And, you know, give customers an ultimatum. You know, if someone wants to watch something, make them subscribe to the whole thing to access it. It's either pay or you don't get access to it. So that's how you win in these models. Netflix has a free trial. You can access to it. Then if you don't want to pay, hey, get out. There's no like pay to watch one thing. It's like it's not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's like, hey, dive in the deep end and swim with us throughout this whole relationship we have together. And so we're 2 down. So all you can eat library model. We have the membership model. And now we get into the private club business model. So private club models offer subscribers ongoing access to something rare. So you might be thinking, hey, this might be a tennis club. This might be a, little secret club. But, you know, a large part of the value of a private club model is not only access to that which is rare, but the chance to meet with other people in that network. That is like one of the most advantageous things of a private club model. And, you know, access to, for example, golf clubs have used this, especially the country clubs. You pay a high price for the whole year. You pay $10,000, $20,000 to be part of the country club, but they can go golfing anywhere else. But the reason they're paying that price is because they get access to other high value, high net worth people who go to that club. You play golf, you swim, there's a spa there, there's whatever. But the chances of you running into someone who is, let's say, a lawyer, a C-suite at a Fortune 500 company, you know, all these entrepreneurs who are, you know, the trailblazers in their industry, that is like one of the best things of a private club model. It offers social status. And, you know, we were trying to launch our own private club model, which we're going to do, Hustler's Card. We had to take that project off and, you know, take a break from it. But we noticed that, you know, entrepreneurs love networking with other entrepreneurs. And one of the key things that they're getting, like our being able to play golf, was giving them access to discounts and promotions to things such as, you know, flights, hotels, different tools they use every single month, which can be, you know, saves them time and money on their business. but the core aspect of it was offering them that access to network with other people. So a private club offers social status. And one of the best examples of this is the rise of luxury vacation, which is called the Destination Club. And the Destination Club was introduced in 1998 when Rob McGrath, a veteran of the timeshare development business, created a club called Private Retreats. And he targeted affluent companies who want the benefits of a, second home ownership, without the cost or downside of being forced to go back to the same place year after year. So he was like one of the pioneers who started this whole private club idea, and it took off, but it's not really popular. A lot of people use it, but you'll never see a random entrepreneur starting a private club member model. It's usually offered to affluent individuals, and to have access to high affluent individuals, you have to have a network, and to build that network takes time. So that's why a lot of people never really go this route. What do you think of the private club model?
The private club model is actually pretty solid in my opinion. Like I was saying, it's very similar to memberships. The only difference is the tilted chin. He's like, who are you? Like in the assessment, you know what I'm saying?
It's like a little snobby,
Yeah, very
like
snobby.
bourgeois.
Exactly. As a black man, it turns me off a little bit, because it gives me bourgeoisie feelings. So I don't know, man. I can't even lie to you. I can't even lie. Like sometimes I feel like it ain't everything it's cooked up to be, and it feels like you can just get in but not really get the experience you want. Like, what if I meet someone who's an amazing truck driver, and I'm in marketing, might not be a fit, so it's like, is it really valuable to what I want, So that's where I kind of land with it. But at the same time, like, if I could get in like a millionaires club, then sure, why not? I think it's great if it's private by a meritocracy. Then I think it's fire. Like if it's like people who have made 9 figures from Facebook ads, I'd be like, that's fire. So then, like, you can have something to work up to. Whereas a private club, until you have that merit, then you can get there. Then I think it's cool. But it's like, oh, this is for Caucasians living in downtown Toronto. I'm like, all right, this is just another
one of them ones. Yeah, man. I hear
you. So that's how I kind of look at it. I would rather have like a private club based off a meritocracy. Yeah, for sure.
And I think the closest thing that comes to that, especially for dealing with entrepreneurs, is Soho House. Soho House is an amazing club. They have different venues in places like Toronto, here in Toronto, Miami, New York, LA. And what Soho House does, it provides you access to a space anywhere you are in the world. And these spaces have workspace, food, networking events. But the key thing to get into Soho House, you have to be referred by another Soho House member, and you have to be in the creative space or in the business field. So what they want to do is bring everybody together so they can all network, share ideas, bounce, rub elbows with other people who are in the similar status. And I think a membership is $800 if you're under a certain age, or $1,000 for the whole year. And you get access to every Soho House. But, if you want to get started with a private club model, offer something that's limited in supply, almost a service or an experience, and that's in high demand amongst affluent customers, and offer to a market of achievement-oriented strivers who are always attracted to the greener grass. Even though they have access to something else, they want something different just so they can feel elite and they feel like they are something amongst other people, because they've worked so hard. They want to feel special. Why are they dealing with the people who are beneath them? And I say that with all due respect, the average people. If you grinded so hard to get into a 9-figure business Facebook ads, you want to deal with other people who are in the same space as you. So offer something like that is valuable to that particular group of people. The next model we have here is the front of the line model. So the front of the line model involves priority access to a group of your customers. So this model was popularized in the software industry. For example, Salesforce has offered packs they call success plans. So meaning, like, if you are a business like, let's say, a tech company, and you have a sales team and they all use Salesforce, if you want your team to have faster support, you have to pay more. So you pay that subscription service every single month so you can have access to different things that Salesforce does that other customers don't have access for. So when you adopt this model, you're essentially saying that not all of your customers are treated equally. And to offer this model, you need to know how you can prioritize your customers. The way to get started with this is offer a complex product or service. Customers who are not overly price sensitive, and these are like companies like in tech, customers of whom waiting in line can have catastrophic consequences. So if you are a team and you need that service, like you need to be using that particular service, if anything goes wrong, you need to have access to that support team and you need to be paying more. So this model can be in conjunction with other models that we've spoken about. But to use this model, you need to have a good reputation or a good baseline service that is trusted, that's, has a good reputation in the industry. Front of line model, bro, is very interesting. I mean, you really need to be within in the up and ups. You just can't adopt this, hey, pay more to access this whenever when you haven't even done anything in the market.
Facts. One of the good ones I think for a skip the line process is it Next? No, what do you call it? Clear in the airports, so you can just like jump past the airport lines.
It's kind of like a Nexus or something like that.
Yeah, Nexus. Yeah, I think it's called Clear in the States, but Nexus here in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Those are fire. I feel like for someone who's consistently traveling, that's something that like I definitely invest in. So yeah, man. But for sure, here nor there for me, man. I'm pretty like conservative with my money. I like to spend it with things that I know are giving me value on a consistent basis.
Especially you owning your own agency, like you need to, when you're spending money with other businesses, you're not gonna spend it with just let me support it. Like, no, I need the best and I'm gonna pay a premium if I have to get access to that service, so my business is successful at the end of the day.
Exactly. And this is what I was talking about a few pods back when I was talking about like having the product market fit. Like at this point, when it comes to subscription business, it is all like value of people who either really mess with you and are fans of your business, like Patreon, or people who get a value off your business and it's cut and dry. It's not like, I just like you. You really have to have a plain and simple value add. Point blank period.
Plain and simple, man. Plain and simple. And going into what we spoke about before, the consumables model, which is what we are speaking about, this is something that I think a lot of our audience can adopt real quick, because a lot of us have products that we sell every day, and some of these products can be offered as a subscription rather than just as a standalone product or service. And going back to it, this is companies like Dollar Shave Club, Harry's, the Bevels, or the not Birchbox. Birchbox is something surprise every single day, but something that you're paying consistently for the same product that needs to be replenished every single month. But the thing about this product, bro, is product differentiation. The one issue with this is if you have a product such as a Dollar Shave Club, customers can access the same razor from Dollarama, because the thing with Dollar Shave Club, it's a simple razor and you're just replenishing your razors, but you can simply get that whole thing you can go to Amazon and do it. So when you think about differentiation, one of the things that they speak about is branding, right? How do you think customers can, form a defense against branding? Because this kind of seeps into what you do with Facebook ads, where you notice a lot of people who are building great brands. So, what are some things that you can share with them that, by branding the product to offer a basic service or tool on a subscription-based basis?
I think to build a brand, I think you got to focus on the smashables. The smashables are things that, separate the actual product and service from the competition. For instance, if I was to show you a McDonald's fries cup holder, right? Not cup holder, but the actual a cup. You assume that to be a McDonald's cup because of the brand that's associated with it. And that goes with a lot of things. The smashables are super important with your brand. So, and that's tougher to build over Facebook because people are usually a little bit more cut and dry. But as long as you can really establish one, what the value add is. I keep going back to that, and the brand associated with it, having the premium logos with the content around it. Super important, man. So yeah, that's what I just think about it. You really have to dial in on your customer archetype. What age are they? What are they associating with your brand? Is it a luxury feeling? Is it a lower priced, lower tier version? Are you going for a Wish competitor, or are you trying to go for a top of the line product? And what assets are you attributing to that? Are you having a font in cursive? Is it in bold? Like, how are you attributing the colors to it? So there's a lot that goes into it. So you really have to dial in your marketing, your branding to match the tone that you're speaking in. There's just so much. So yeah, that's a whole other podcast, man.
That's a whole different podcast, man. Yeah, and people can access those products through Amazon and Walmart or Costco, but brands have succeeded by creating great brands that people feel an affinity to. People feel like, I need to support this company. It could be something else, like a service where they're giving $1 to a charity that you love. But you need to really think wider than the product and what really brings people together to have like those raging fans who will never stop using it. I mean, going back to the Bevel example, like, I'm a huge fan of Tristan. He's the brand of the company. The brand is like, it's catered towards, black men with coarse and curly hair. Of course, I'm going to get that. I mean, I can get a single straight blade razor, but what they stand for, I have to support it. And that is great branding by them. So if you want to get started with this model, offer a product that continually runs out, something that is annoying to replenish, and make sure you have a steady supply. So this is where your negotiation skills are going to come into play. You got to negotiate with the manufacturers, the suppliers, to offer you a cheaper price point so you can be able to offer these products on a monthly basis where you have a steady profit margin, logistics are well, and each customer is guaranteed their box at a certain time of the month. The next model we have to cover here is the surprise box model. So this model involves shipping a curated package of goodies to your subscriber each month. Part of it is for customers to discover a new set of products each month. For example, boxes. For example, like this model is used by the Birch boxes, the Stitch Fixes, the spices subscriptions, where people want to try a different spice every single month. And the benefit of using this model is curation. So today you can find any product you're looking for, but a subscription box like a Bark box, which is a dog subscription box, curates bad products that are not fit for your pet. So an example like Bark box, they get all these different treats in there where they're not gonna these products are not really gonna have elements such as rawhide or formaldehyde, which are like ingredients or chemicals that are not good for pets. And what they do is they guarantee their customers that any snack that's in this box, they're not going to have these chemicals in there which can be bad for your pet. So to make this model work, you need a large, varied network of manufacturers who are willing to give you a deep discount for a one-time order, or who have the capacity to fulfill it. I want to share something with you, but I actually wanted to start a surprise box model when I was working in the gym. I noticed that like I'm always trying different, pre-workouts, creatines, and etc. I was like, man, it would be a great idea to start like a subscription box where people get a surprise of, hey, this is a creatine, maybe 5 packs of creatine, different proteins, and etc. But one thing you realize as a surprise box model is like getting access to those things in a steady supply is extremely difficult.
Yeah. And I think like it's also a challenge to grow the audience as you do that. Like if you're like a micro sheet and you already grew the audience, then maybe having a surprise box could be something that is advantageous because you already have the audience and the reputation. You know what I'm saying? So you can demand that. Also, though, is like from a health standpoint of people trying different things every month, like that could be tough. As well of having people, because this is like, it's like borderline medicinal. It's a very fine line for gym products too, man. So you got to be careful.
I was thinking about like maybe even switching it to like vitamins, like having like a vitamin box. Like, you know, this is like vitamin C, D, E. You can have different, you know, type of things. But I'm like, you gotta have passion for this stuff, man. You just can't go start a subscription box because you know like this business is gonna like work. But I just didn't have the passion for it, to be honest.
Facts. Like if there was a subscription business for like high quality weaves, I think there's gonna be a lot of women who are gonna buy that. But is that my passion?
Nope.
Not so much.
Maybe that passion can grow. You never know.
Man, listen, I ain't gonna be passionate for weaves no time soon, bro.
Hell no. You know how weave can like smell toxic when it's out of like you know like that like
oh my god,
that, oh my, especially weave. when it's hot, like when it's in a hot room, bro, and like this stuff is like you can smell the chemical. It's like maybe horsehair. I don't know what it is, you know, but man, when that weave gets danky, it can just it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant.
Listen, that's like one thing we talk about that never like seeps into like girls like radar is like, yo, if a girl's weave smells bad, oh my god, bro. Oh, that's cancel Polly. Like, you know, you've hit the cancellation phase of our relationship. You know, I'll like a return, please.
You know 30-day policy, bro. You feel me?
30-day policy, word, bro. Mm-hmm. I like a return, please. What was your reason for return? Smelly weave.
Smelly weave. Yo, smell like burnt tires, you know.
Damn, burnt tires.
Yo, that was cold. That was cold. That was cold with no blanket, man. But it's a surprise box, man. You know, if you have a passionate fan base, this is definitely a model for you. A clearly defined market of consumers. And, you know, you need a large and, you know, valuable network of manufacturers that are willing to give you that discount for a one-time order. So this is like the actual part of the business. Forget about setting the website. Forget about the products. You don't have a business if you don't have access to supply and you don't have bargaining power with these guys where they can give you this discount for what you need. So next up, we have the Simplify model. So the Simplify model is used by people who need a service on an ongoing basis. So I'm thinking like the lawn cares, you know, if you need a mosquito service, this is great for those affluent and busy consumers. Think about like people who live in the burbs who need their lawn cuts and they don't want to be spending time mowing their lawn. You know, part of the value prop is that you'll always remember to do your task, you as the business, and your consumers won't even remember it. So the consumers just pay for it. They don't care. They show up. They see, hey, my grass is cut. Hey, my backyard was mosquito repellented out. They don't really have to think about it. But the great advantage of this model is that there's a lot of opportunities to upsell and cross-sell. So even though you are paying a subscription for someone to mow your lawn every single month, you can actually offer, hey, we can actually pay us for, you know, aerating your lawn. We can actually fertilize your lawn. There's a lot of different things you can add on top of it, which adds to like the, you know, the basket value of like what, you know, the end of the day when the customer is paying, what more do they add on to like really add to like the payment that's coming from them. So this is one model I use. I see my mom has like a lawn guy who comes all the time. It's a steady business for him, and my mom doesn't really care because she just pays like $30 a month for someone to come and cut her grass. So I'm like, this is a great business model. I remember I told you I used to cut grass. I used to go door knocking on people, just say, hey, do you want me to cut your grass? And then I'd come back again. Then I asked them for the same $20 I was cutting their grass for. Imagine if I had a subscription back then. Like, well, hey, for the whole summer, I'll come a week, pay me $100 a month, and I'll cut your grass. I'd have had so much money. I'm guaranteed income every single month. But you know what? I wasn't subscription modeled knowledge yet. I didn't have it back then, so it's all good.
You didn't have the mindset yet.
You didn't have the mindset, bro.
You could have had the next green pal on your hands.
Shout out to Brian Clean, man.
Shout out Brian Clean for sure. Out living his life.
Living his life out in Mexico, always with tangs on IG. My goodness. Guy's actually out here. He's out here. Bro. Mm-hmm.
Facts, man. So let's work towards wrapping up.
As we work towards wrapping up, we have two more things to cover here. The network model and the peace of mind model. One of the defining characteristics of the network model is that the utility of the subscription increases if more people subscribe. So think of something like Zipcar. Zipcar is something that you subscribe to every single month, but the business. So for example, this network model is best for companies that have a lot of capital or who have entrepreneurs who are good at raising it. And this is where Zipcar comes into place. So for it to succeed, you just can't go into it. You really need to have a lot of money to have access to, the supply where people can have access to it. And you also need to have people who are willing to use those cars to really get the money going. One of the things about it is to really make your money back, you need to have people who are going to be using it in droves for you not to be losing money every single month. This is a model that, hey, it's easy. It's not easy. It's hard to get started, but once it's conquered, it's easy just to keep money coming in and out. And the last model we have to cover here today, guys, is the peace of mind model. The peace of mind subscription model offers insurance premium to something your customers hope they'll never experience. With this model, your business can provide a peace of mind as your customers know they have signed up for being covered in case of an unexpected event. This is your insurance. You're driving your car every single day. If you know you get in an accident, you're covered. You have a Rolex, you pay insurance for that Rolex. If something happens, if it's stolen, you can pay insurance for that. If you have a Ferrari, you're paying a premium for insurance in case something happens to that Ferrari. If it happens, insurance has got you. Here in my apartment, I pay insurance. I know I lock my door every single time, but in case I have a party, in case I'm drunk, I'm having a vibe and people come in and out, something gets stolen, something happens, I know insurance is covered and every one of my belongings will be paid for. So this is one peace of mind model, you can use if you have a business that offers that, but it's not for everybody. This is one of those things that you need to be like a big company that offers insurance to something that people need. And as new entrepreneurs, you need to really work towards this. But it's one great model where I can go this whole year and something never happens inside of my home. But in case that one time it happens, I know I'll be good. There's been many times I've contemplated canceling it. I was like, man, why am I paying this $50 to Sonnet every single month? But that's the thing what mayhem calls, what's that thing with have you seen those mayhem commercials with Allstate when mayhem call?
Nah.
Mayhem is essentially like they have this commercial where there's a guy driving and then there's this bad character. It's called Mayhem, and it's just like when mayhem strikes and he just pushes something, it hits the back of the wall, and then your garage, something drops on your car, and then something, your car's dented. That's mayhem striking. So you never know when mayhem strikes. So like mayhem can strike, like a little tornado comes and breaks my window. I'll need to have insurance for that. Something like that, bro. So to wrap it up, bro, I'd love to get your thoughts on the peace of mind model. What do you think about that?
That's probably the most smartest model of all of them. To be honest with
Smartest, bro.
Smartest model of all of them is definitely the peace of mind model. I think that one of the biggest businesses right now is like Asurion. Asurion is blowing up as like a phone insurance business. Asurion is one. I can't think of any other ones. If you think of one, let me know so you don't give them a free ad. But yeah, Asurion is one that I used personally for my phone. So when it got I think it was stolen, where I got a whole new up-to-date phone, and that like changed my life. I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? So nah, peace of mind apps, business models are, I think, one of the smartest ways to start and grow a business, without a doubt, so.
Same thing with Apple Care, bro. You feel me? Like you pay that $200 when you buy that iPhone. You're like, do I really need it? And then your iPhone cracks. Then they can give you a brand new phone. Yep. But
is Apple Care subscription though? Do you have to continuously renew it?
Well, that's not. But just think of peace of mind, right? Like just paying the peace of mind style of things. Like, hey, just pay insurance in case something happens to your iPhone. We'll replace it. I remember when I used to work at the Source, all of their branded items, we always got people to pay a insurance for it. Hey, you want to add something for in case something happens, you can get a replacement. People always took it, and then they got new headphones after, but that's because the Source branded products were not really up to par. They were kind of cheap, so they always knew people were going to come replace them. But the reason they did that is to bring them back in the store, and then we can sell them on offers on TV, internet, other things. As long as they have foot traffic and people are constantly coming in, we can always like replace that money, that product. It's going to turn into a subscription for either Bell Internet or Fibe TV, whatever it was that we were selling, or a cell phone subscription plan. So it worked. They knew what they were doing by making crappy stuff.
or holding crappy stuff. Because I don't know if did the Source actually source it?
I don't know, man. It was like a lot of China product stuff. And
yeah.
I mean, I tried this headphones, bro. Like, they just stopped mid-use. I was like walking towards an exam one day. I'm like bumping. I'm getting charged up. Out of nowhere, music, it just kind of like dies down. It just felt like the music just stopped in one ear, and I slowly felt like the volume fading on the other, and it's just like, and I just knew it reached like its lifeline. It's just done. I just tossed them in the garbage can, and I kept it moving.
Damn. Yeah, I hate products like that. I hate products like that, bro. Awesome, man.
So, yeah. So, guys, that was the subscription. Let us know what you thought about this episode today. If you're interested in building a subscription business, one of my favorite books that we got a lot of the ideas we got on this episode today is The Automatic Customer. Talks a lot about all the different businesses that have succeeded using subscriptions. Subscriptions are a great way to build your business. You can predict cash flow. You can have simplicity in it. You can always know who your customers are and how to value them, how to keep them so they don't churn. But if you like this, let us know on IG. Tweet us or leave a comment on Apple Podcasts and rate us. But Alex, over to you to close it out.
Let's go. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the hustle is what you can control. So control your grind and control your life. I'm Alex.
And I'm Owen.
And that's Hustle Over Everything podcast, y'all. Peace.
Peace out, guys.
Thank you so much for listening. The conversation continues on our Instagram at 247hustler. We post very frequently. And be sure to check out our merch at hustleovereverything.co. We have some amazing sweaters, hats, mugs, and a lot more. Lastly, our Proud to Pay program is linked in the description below. Thank you so much for your support. Talk to you next Monday. Peace.